Hello. Hello. Good morning to all.
Good morning, sir.
Okay, everyone, mute yourself so that you can easily hearable. Uh, so today we'll start our first lecture. 1 minute. Okay. Good morning all. Uh, okay, everyone, mute yourself. Otherwise, मला माझ्या बाजूने म्यूट करावं लागेल. बट मी ते काढून टाकतोय. तुम्हाला मी स्वतःला अनम्यूट करायची फॅसिलिटी दिलेली आहे. इफ एनीथिंग, एनी प्रॉब्लेम while in a lecture, you can unmute yourself and you can ask any questions. Even chat box is available for you, so you can discuss in a chat box also. So everyone, good morning again. Uh, this is the first lecture after a long lockdown period. So I hope everyone is safe at your side. Uh, our subject is power electronics and applications. So I'll just show you the syllabus. Uh, I'll first share my screen with you so that you can easily see each and everything. Okay, एक minute. It's very difficult, everyone, every time to admit all, etc. Okay, so syllabus आपको दिख रहा है सब लोगों को? Anyone? Hello?
Yes, sir.
हाँ, दिख रहा है सब
Yes,
लोगों को
sir.
ना? Okay, okay, ठीक है, चलो. So we'll again go for every time. This is very difficult. Uh, Students are entering into the meeting. Okay, so this power electronics and application, uh, it has a total four theory credits, four credits. So if you see the course objectives, uh, to understand construction, switching characteristics, and protection of power devices. So this overall syllabus is divided in two parts. That is the study of devices, its static and dynamic characteristics, and then application of these devices. So your syllabus is divided into two parts: study of devices and then application of devices. So first objectives: to understand construction, then working characteristics and protection of power devices. Then to understand protection circuits and triggering circuits of power devices. So if you see, this syllabus is broadly divided in two part, that is study of devices and then application of devices. But under the study of devices, uh, that is protection circuit for the power devices is also a part of your syllabus. And then thus applications of devices. So course outcome, after successfully completing the course, you will understand the basic principle of power conversion. Then uh, design and implement a triggering gate drive circuit for power devices, because these are the power devices. So you require a triggering or gate circuits, uh, power circuits. Okay. Then design and implement protection circuit for power devices. This is another important part, because if you are using power devices which works on very high power, so it requires protections also. Then understand, design and analyze different power electronics converters, that is AC to DC converter, DC to AC converter, AC to AC converters, and DC to DC converters. There are four types of converters which is a part of your syllabus. So you will able to design and analyze different power electronics converters. And last, you will utilize power converters in different industrial applications. So this is the course outcome. Now we'll start with the first unit, that is overview of power electronics and power devices. So this is your third year. See, the books which I refer for this syllabus or this subject, every time it is difficult for me. So I refer mainly MD Singh and Khanchindani. Uh, then I refer Ned Mohan, Power Electronics Converter Applications, and one more book that is again important, Rashid, that I referred for the preparation of this syllabus. Actually, these books are given by university for your syllabus. So I have a e-copy of all these three books. I can share with you so that you can use these books for your study at your home. So I have e-books of all these three books. Then, see, this is a syllabus what we have discussed maybe in a small uh, power electronics system. So what is a power electronics? Then what is a linear electronics? Scope and applications, interdisciplinary nature of power electronics, classification of power converter, etc. So it is just introduction. So that after completing this particular part, you are able to understand the power electronics and what is a linear electronics, uh, as well as whatever the scope of power electronics and applications of power electronics. Dear student, this is one of the most important subject in your 4-year career, because this is a core subject of electronics branch. So there are lots of uh, chances for the maybe job on the basis of this particular subject. Now you can understand what is the use of this power electronics in different disciplines like mechanical or any other disciplines. So you can see interdisciplinary nature of power electronics and then classification of power converters. So it's just a classification. Details of power converters we will see in unit number 4, 5, and 6, even third, fourth, and fifth. Unit number 1 and unit number 1 is introduction of devices. Unit number 2 is protection circuits. Unit number 1, if you see, it's a power devices. Then this unit number 2 is a protection circuits. Unit number 3, AC to DC converters. Unit number 4, DC to AC converters. And then unit number 5, DC to DC converters. And last is applications, various applications of your power electronics. So this is your syllabus actually. So your first unit, uh, power MOSFET, then IGBT, SCR, and triac. So students, these are the 4 devices which are mainly used in any power circuits. So MOSFET already maybe you learn in second year, but in the second year the MOSFET is used in amplifier circuit, right? But here we are using power MOSFETs or MOSFETs as a switch, because this is basically a power electronics. So these devices are used as a switch, not as an amplifying device. Even SCR and triac cannot be used as an amplifying device. So power MOSFET is one topic, IGBT is another topic, SCR is another topic, and triac. If you see the syllabus, MOSFET construction, operation, static characteristics, and switching characteristics. These are the 4 most important topics. So if you see, this is a one topic, or you can see as a 4 different questions. Question may be asked like, draw the construction of power MOSFET and explain. Then draw and explain the static characteristic of MOSFET. Draw and explain the switching characteristic of MOSFET. Likewise, okay. So these are the 4 different questions may be asked in examination. Similarly, IGBT, again same construction, static, that is steady state characteristics, and switching characteristics. Again, safe operating area is one of the different question, but it is again used because if you are using power devices, so you should know that what is the maximum voltage handling capacity, maximum current handling capacity of this device. So safe operating area, that is one of the most important applications, and gate drive or base drive. Similarly, SCR, again a construction, operation, and characteristics. 2 transistor analogy and different rating. If you see, again there are 4 different questions may be asked on this unit, that is this topic, that is construction. Draw the construction of SCR and explain, or draw the construction of SCR and explain its VI characteristics. Draw the construction, sorry, 2 transistor analogy and explain, and different ratings. So again, there are total 4 questions. One more characteristics, that is switching characteristics, also part of SCR topic. And last one is a triac. So triac, SCR, IGBT, and MOSFET, all these 4 devices is a part of your first unit. So as per your syllabus in a first year, you already learn MOSFET. You already learn SCR and TRIAC. I think IGBT maybe they're not part of your first year syllabus, but uh, a little bit difference in the devices already you learn in first year or in a second year, and these devices, because itself the devices are called as a power devices. So हे सगळे power devices आहेत. So what is mean by power devices and etc. that we will see. Okay, so introduction. Power electronics. Uh, dear students, am I audible to everyone? Anyone reply? Anyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
okay. Thank you. See, power electronics is defined as the applications of solid state devices, electronics for control and conversion of electric power. So, in a small sense, the definition of power electronics means conversion of electric power. That is control and conversion of electric power from AC to DC, DC to AC, AC to AC, or a DC to DC. That is basically called as a power electronics. Again, another definition is given. Power electronics is to process and control the flow of electric energy by supplying voltage and currents in the form of in a form that is optimally suited for user loads. So again, this is whatever user loads depending upon high or low voltage and currents are supplied to the circuit, that is given as a power electronics. Power electronics have already found an important place in a modern technology and are now used in a great variety of high power products, including heat controls. These are the just applications, some applications of power electronics. We will see detailed applications maybe in the next part of this unit. So light control, electric motor control, power supply, vehicle, then system, and high voltage direct current, HVDC. So these are the some applications which are given here. See, this is one of the power electronic system. So current and voltage, that is a rating of voltage and current is high, which is depends upon your requirements of your load. Then a power processor. Power processor consists of the circuit which converts AC to DC, DC to AC, or maybe a AC to DC, DC to AC, etc. And there is some feedback that is called control signal, which basically control the output power delivered to the load. It is simply a generalized power electronic system. Any power system is like this. So whatever your supply voltage and current, that is maybe a high or low voltage, but which is applied to the power processor or power converter, you can say. And this output of power converter is controlled with the help of controller. So controller, it means it's a gate drive or a base drive circuits. So this is a generalized block diagram of power electronic system. Any electronic system, because power electronics basically use to convert the high voltage or currents into different form, like already told that AC to DC converters or DC to AC to DC already you learn as a rectifier, right? So rectifier is also a converter, but rectifiers are not called as a converter. Converters basically a high power converters. So very large power converted from AC to DC or from DC to AC or AC to AC or DC to DC. So AC to DC called converter, DC to AC called inverter, DC to DC and AC to AC called as a choppers. Again, we required DC to DC. So one of the application of DC to DC is electric vehicle, right? So in which the battery voltages are the fixed, but you require a variable DC to increase or decrease the speed of vehicle. So variable DC you can obtain from chopper circuit. So high DC or a constant DC to variable DC, that is again with the help of this power processor. So this is a generalized block diagram of any power electronic system. Okay, so power input to this power processor is usually uh, from the electric utility at a line frequency or 60 or 50 hertz. The uh, phase angle between the input voltage and the current depends on topology and control of power processor. So phase angle, again, requirements according to the requirements of your circuits, so it may be a different. The processed output voltage, current, frequency, and number of phases is as desired by the load. So you can convert DC into three-phase AC, DC into single-phase AC, or a single-phase AC into DC, or a three-phase AC into DC. So it depends upon your load, whatever your load is there. So according to that, you can convert your voltage, current, and frequency. Even you can convert frequency also. Your line frequency is a 50 hertz, but if you require a high frequency or low frequency, you can convert that using inverter and converters. So how it is convert? Your line frequency 50 hertz, whatever voltage and current. So it convert into the DC, and again from DC to AC. If you see the tube light at your home, nowadays electronic chokes are available with the tubes. So that electronic chokes are nothing but a high frequency inverters. So your supply voltage converted into the DC, and then DC into high frequency AC. So you can even change the frequency also. So this is also a part of powertronics. Feedback controllers compare the output power processor unit with a desired or reference value and the error between two, minimize the controller. So whatever requirements, so every time power controller will take the part of output, and it controls the gate signal or base signal so that the output voltage may be maintained. See, this is a very important difference between power electronics and linear electronics, right? So whatever syllabus you learn till second year is a part of linear electronics. Okay. So see, powertronics and linear electronics, whatever the difference between these two. uh, Powertronics. In powertronics, the semiconductor devices are operated in saturation, either in saturation or in cutoff region. It means the devices is always used as a switch, not as a amplifying device. So in linear electronics, the semiconductor devices are operated in a linear region, that is called active region. Okay. So in active region, devices are in active region, so they are continuously on. If devices are continuously on, they are definitely heated, and there is a lot of power losses. So linear devices having high power loss and low energy efficiency, right? So in powertronics, the devices are on for a short time, then off, again on, off, and so on. So devices are not continuously on, so that the power loss is very small and it gives a very high efficiency. This is another difference between these two. One more difference, high frequency transformers. See, in linear electronics, line frequency transformers are used to step down the voltage and for electrical isolation. In every circuit, transformers not only used for conversion of low to high or high to low voltage, transformers are also used many times for isolation between power circuit and digital, or maybe called as a logic circuits, right? So the isolation is also important, but in a linear electronics or in a linear circuits, you are using a line frequency transformer. Whatever transformers you have seen in a first year or second year, all are line frequency transformer. So depending upon the number of turns ratio, it may be a step down or step up transformer. So step down the voltage, and for electrical isolation in linear electronics, we are using a line frequency transformer, which are bulky in a size, and these transformers are bulky, so definitely the weight of this transformer is high, and even the cost of these transformer is also high as compared to the high frequency transformer. So this is a comparison, or you can say difference between linear as well as powertronics. High frequency transformers to be used for stepping down the voltage and for providing electrical isolation. So these high frequency transformers are maybe in a small size, light in weight, and very low cost. of these transformer. So these are the advantage of power electronics. Then applications, already you learn that linear regulated power supply, you can handle this power supply many times in practical lab like ADC or any other practical lab. So whatever the power supply available in our laboratories are the linear regulated power supply. So this linear means your device, controlling device is used in a linear region. Linear means active region. If device is continuously used in active region, then the power loss is high and the conversion, that is the efficiency, AC power into DC power conversion is also low. So that is the disadvantage of linear electronics and advantages of power electronics. Last comparison, that is the applications of these two. So switch mode power supply is application of power electronics, and linear regulated power supply is application of uh, linear electronics. So hello, linear electronics, switch mode power supply, SMPS. That is basically simply, if I say your mobile charger is an example of a switch mode power supply. So switch mode power supply, if you see the size of switch mode power supply, SMPS, is a very small, and the size of linear regulated power supply, which is used in our laboratory, having maybe a large size, because heavy or bulky transformers are used in the circuit. That's why the size of that power supply is large. And if you see the mobile charger, that is an example of switch mode power supply, having very small size, right? So this is a difference between power electronics versus linear electronics. This is an example of these two circuits. So first one is a linear regulated power supply, and second one is a switch mode power supply. If you see the above circuit, it is basically a series uh, regulator. There are basically two types of regulators, series and shunt. Linear regulators, again classified in two types, series regulator and shunt regulator. So this figure, basically a series regulator. If you see this figure, in which this is the first one, that is called line frequency transformer. So line frequency transformer is used to convert your AC into lower or higher AC, as well as to provide the isolation. Isolation is also important. So line frequency transformer is used. Then this particular block, that is called rectifier. A rectifier which converts AC into pulsating DC. Then next one is a capacitor. If you see, the next is capacitor, which converts pulsating DC into pure DC, right? And then whatever the unregulated voltage, see at the output of capacitor filter, the output is unregulated DC voltage, right? This unregulated DC voltage is given to the transistor. This transistor is called as a linear device or active device because it is used in a linear region. Why it is called linear region? Because the base current is continuously on and collector current is continuously flowing. So this device is in a active region in a common common emitter configuration. So this controller provide the base current, which control the collector current or emitter current. Emitter current nothing but your load current, right? So if the voltage that is at the collector of transistor, if voltage is changing, what happens? The collector current IC also changes. If collector current IC changes, the controller will control the base current so that the emitter current remains constant, right? So for example, if suppose the current collector current IC is equal to 5 milliampere, right? So load current is also equal to 5 milliampere because IC is approximately equal to I. So if IC equal to 5 milliampere, I also equal to 5 milliampere, right? So if IC increases due to change in supply voltage. We know that the supply voltage is continuously varying. It may be a 220 volt, 230, sometimes 240, 250 or 260 even, right? So if primary voltage increases, it means that the secondary voltage also increases, right? So secondary voltage also increases, okay? So secondary voltage increases, it means the output of rectifier also increases. If output if output of rectifier increases, it means your collector current also increases. See students, how collector current increases? If the line voltage, normally the output of any regulator is depends upon the line voltage, and second one is a load current. If you increase or decrease the load current, then also your load voltage may changes. V0 is called as a load voltage. So this voltage is depends upon the supply voltage, utility supply, and second one is a load current. If your load current changes, then also it affects the voltage. And first one, if your line voltage changes, then also your load voltage changes. How load voltage changes? If line voltage increases to 260, then secondary voltage also changes, because the turns ratio is a constant. If turns ratio is a constant, and if primary voltage is changes from 220 to 260, it means that secondary voltage also changes. If the input to the rectifier increases, then output of the rectifier also increases. This voltage, increase voltage, increases the collector current IC. Collector current IC. If IC increases, IE also increases. IE means emitter current. If you see this particular diagram, this transistor is shown as a variable resistor. The symbol, if you see, it shows as a variable resistance. So as your collector current increases, emitter current increases, it means your load current increases. If load current increases, V equal to I into R, right? So V also increases. So this will be controlled with the help of this feedback circuit called as a controller. So whatever increase voltage that is given to the controller, it compare with the reference voltage, and according to that, the current IB of transistor changes. If IB changes, IC also changes, because IC is equal to beta into IB, right? So if IB changes, IC also changes. So if IC changes, IE also changes. And if IE changes, the automatically load voltage also changes. So in this way, the current, or you can say load voltage, is maintained as a constant in this particular circuit. This is a linear regulated power supply in which this transistor, series pass transistor, is continuously on, or in a linear region, or in an active region. That's why this regulated power supply is called as a linear regulated power supply. If you see second one, switch mode power supply, again same thing, utility supply, that is your line voltage, then rectifier, then filter, and then another circuit that is called as a high frequency transformer, and basically a transistor. So what happens here actually in this particular circuit, whatever the output voltage DC that is given to the circuit, so that the output of this particular circuit, or this processor, you can say called as a power processor, which converts your line frequency voltage into high frequency, and that is given to the another again rectifier, then low pass filter, and then finally to the load, right? So this particular transistor in this particular figure, see, only one transistor is given. This transistor is continuously on off. If this transistor is on off, it means that the AC voltage applied to the primary of a transformer with a high frequency. So frequency of this particular transistor, if you change, if you increase or decrease, automatically the output of this transformer is a high frequency. Then we are using again a rectifier which converts that high frequency AC into DC. Then we are using a low pass, so that whatever the DC components, sorry, low pass, which means whatever AC components still present, that may be bypassed through this capacitor, and only pure DC is fed to the load. So output voltage, load voltage, is maintained with the help of this transistor. This transistor is a power device which is normally used in switching, maybe either in saturation region or in a cutoff region. So you can say this transistor is a power transistor, so that it continuously on off on off. So you will get a high frequency output at the secondary of transformer. This high frequency signal converted into the DC, and then After filtering, it is given to the load. If you see the load voltage, ideally it should be a constant DC, but practically it is a breakage in voltage. It means it will be appear for a very small time, then off, again on, again off, and likewise. So you can say simply a digital signal you can obtain across the load register. So these are the two different or basic difference between linear regulated power supply and switch mode power supply. Then scope and applications. Scope and applications, if you see, these are the applications of basically a power devices. So switch mode power supply and UPS, uninterruptible power supply, is a applications of these devices. Then energy conversion, already we discussed, that is AC to DC, DC to AC, DC to DC, or AC to AC. AC to AC, example, your fridge stabilizer or TV stabilizer is the example of AC to AC, right? Then DC to DC, already I explained that electric vehicles required constant DC to variable DC. So that is a energy conversion. Then process control and factory automation required such type of high power conversion. Then transportation, then electrotechnical applications and utility applications. We'll see these applications in detail. That is first one, residential. So in a refrigeration and fridge, we are using stabilizers. So which are the AC to AC converters. Then space heating, air conditioning, cooking. So in cooking, we are using AC to AC converter. So low frequency AC to high frequency AC, that is used in electric cooking. Uh, then lightning, then electronics, personal computers, other entertainment devices, and likewise. So these are the applications of power electronics at residential, commercial, that is heating, ventilating, air conditioning, central refrigeration, lighting, computer and office equipments, UPS, elevators, etc. These are the examples of power converters at commercial side. Then industrial applications, pumps, compressor, machine tools, then arc furnaces, induction furnaces, lightning, then industrial lasers, induction heating, welding, blowers and fan, etc. These are the industrial applications of power electronics. Then transportation. So these are the applications, battery chargers for electric vehicles, that is transportation में आता है, वो भी electric locomotives, streetcar, trolley, buses, subways, automotive electronics, including engine control. These are the applications of power electronics in transportation. Then utility systems, high voltage DC transmission, that is HVDC, static VR compensation, then supplemental energy sources, that is wind, photovoltaic, etc., fuel cells, energy storage system, induced draft fan and boilers, and feed water pumps. These are the some utility applications of power electronics. Now, next one is I think just 5 minutes are remaining. So no, 5 minutes. Only 1 minute is remaining to end the meeting. So the dear students, we will continue this lecture tomorrow. Whatever time, I don't remember the time for tomorrow's lecture, but we will continue your syllabus, this syllabus, in a next lecture. So whatever we have seen, I'll just repeat that from the first one. So that is power electronics, basic system of power electronics that we have seen. Then we have seen the power electronics versus linear electronics. Then we have seen the difference between these two with the help of applications and different applications of power electronics. So student, maybe very soon from next Monday, we will arrange the lectures for 1 hour on Team app. So everyone are instructed to download the Team app and uh, install in your mobile phones and log in your Team software with the help of login ID and password given on your group, right? So very soon, maybe